My name is Sergii. Je m'appelle Serge. Je parle français un peu, but for the purpose of clarity, I will stick to English. Right now, I am based in Kiev, Ukraine, and I'm head of Mars Society Ukraine. Right now, we have blackout in Kiev, but thanks to all scientific achievements, I can use the solar panels to still stay online and speak to you right now. I'll start with a brief presentation of Mars Society Ukraine. I know that we're running out of time, so I will be brief as possible. And then I would like to touch some subjects that relate both to Mars exploration and war efforts and the importance of understanding this link between the technologies that can both protect peace on Earth and let us colonize Mars. Let me start sharing my screen. Can you see it now?
It's coming, yes. Yes.
So let me describe first what we are doing here at Mars Society Ukraine and why we're doing what we're doing. I'll start maybe with a quote by Robert Zubrin that he made as a preface to the book The Case for Space, published here in Ukraine. Robert said, and I think it can be related to any nation on our planet, that Ukraine must be a part of the global journey into space. One day, the first cities will rise on Mars, and new branches of human civilization will emerge, and the nations that take part in humanity's expansion into space will be the ones future generations remember. If you want the people on Mars to know who Taras Shevchenko, famous Ukrainian poet, was, then Ukrainians must be on Mars. If you want the future inhabitants of Mars to know about Ukraine, then Ukrainians must be on Mars. And I think it is relevant to French people, to Americans, to German people, to people from Belgium, the United Kingdom, Saudi, China, any country on our planet. This is the book we published here in Ukraine, the translation of The Case for Space. It is called Жага космосу. So we are focused on publishing books about space exploration. Two more books are coming soon. This is the translation of the book The Case for Mars and the new book, The New World on Mars. You can see both books here. This is The Case for Mars and this is New World on Mars. The translations into Ukrainian language are complete and now we're working on actually publishing the book. This is another book, Astronomy for Kids, published with the support of Mars Society Ukraine. So I think it's obvious how important is that to inspire kids to learn about space. This is the catalog. So if you happen to be in Ukraine, there is a catalog called Space Ukraine, which includes every single startup, organization, NGO, just amateur club that is working on space exploration in Ukraine. We also do exhibitions. So when we published Robert's book, we made this beautiful artwork. These are engraves. They are really big, like 3 by 5 meters. There are 35 of them. And when we presented the book, we also did this exhibition presenting portraits of famous people like Giuseppe Piazzi, Nicolas Copernicus, Charles Babbage, and others. This is the planet Earth, and this is Tesla Spaceman, which people liked a lot. This is the ebook we prepared. It is called Why Colonize Mars. It's also available for kids. Also, we do meetups, and this is very interesting angle that is happening here in Ukraine. As Robert mentioned many times, science is a big adventure and it is the biggest challenge. That is why Mars and space exploration attract a lot of young people and engineering talent. You can see one of the Mars Society members holding a drone in his hand. So it happens so that the same people that like space exploration and engaged in scientific advancements related to space, right now they are involved in protecting peace in our country, in Ukraine, and focused on all those technological advancements that are needed both for peace and space exploration. And I'd like to touch upon some of those topics because this link is not obvious for many people. They ask how technology, the war, and space exploration are related. So I'd like just to describe at high level the topics which are important both for Mars exploration and war stuff. So satellite reconnaissance. In France, you have this satellite called French CSO-1 reconnaissance satellite. On Mars, there are some satellites that explore Mars planet. One of the most famous is Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. So both people who are working on satellites that protect countries here on Earth, the same people will be working on satellites that are needed for Mars exploration. Satellite communications. Starlink has helped Ukraine a lot in this war. Marslink does not exist. There are negotiations, and you might read in the news the project that Elon Musk might implement one day, the Marslink, like the system of satellites that will be similar to Starlink satellites to give connectivity on Mars planet. GPS, GNSS systems, navigation systems. Everybody here on Earth enjoys GPS, and everybody knows that GPS will not work on Mars. So alternative system will be created to let people use, or robots use, the same kind of GPS stuff we're using here on Earth. Precision guided weapons. There is one of the most famous satellites called Navstar 3 that is used to guide missiles or coordinate air defense. This technology doesn't exist right now on Mars. Luckily, we do not have any wars on Mars nowadays. But in case some future countries will need to protect themselves on Mars, such satellites will be needed as well. Spaceborne radars, so-called SARs, synthetic aperture radars. On Earth, we might remember as an example SIR-C and XSIR. On Mars, there are such satellites as MARSIS, for example, which is operational since 2005, launched by ESA. But perhaps more such satellites are needed. Robert already mentioned today that the water was discovered in some places that were not known before, partially because of such radars that were able to scan deep under Mars planet. Early warning of missile launches. On Earth, we have the system called Defense Support Program satellites. On Mars, luckily, such satellites are not yet needed yet. This technology doesn't exist, but might appear at some point in future. Relay satellites, satellites that relay data. On Earth, we have European Data Relay System, EDRS, and NASA is also operating tracking and data relay satellites, TDRS systems. On Mars, there are some of such satellites. One of the most famous is Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, MRO, Mars Odyssey, MAVEN, ESA ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter, TGO, and Mars Express, operated by ESA. But most probably we'll be having much more data coming to Earth from Mars, and more such satellites will be needed. Space-based electronic warfare. Some of the satellites that belong to this family are Magnum, Trumpet, and Roll. On Mars, we do not have such satellites, but that might appear in future. Military inspector satellites. There is this project, Geosynchronous Space Situational Awareness Program, which is used for this purpose. This technology does not exist on Mars yet. And of course, cyber operations targeting space infrastructure. Just recently, a lot of hacks were going on with all kind of satellites. These are some of examples on these slides. I will not stop right now on all of them. So these are the areas we should be looking for, and talented engineers will work in these domains that are useful both for protecting peace and colonizing Mars. This is Robert in Kiev, and he said that currently we're witnessing the first space war. Ukraine is holding because of space-based weaponry reconnaissance assets. This is the new term. I never met it before, the first space war. So our plan here in Ukraine is to win the war, establish peace, and then settle Mars. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm sure you have some questions from the audience. Yes?
I'll just say,
Can you come perhaps here, because I'm not sure he's going to hear you very well.
I say thank you. Fascinating talk. I've never heard a sort of basis for space warfare in the context of Mars, and I think it's a really fascinating position, and in your context makes complete sense. So thank you for bringing it. It's really valuable to have at the table. That's all.
Thank you.
Okay. Other questions? Gernot.
I think it's nice if people can see on the other side who's talking. Hi. I'm wondering how the operation of the Mars Society that existed before the war, I presume, how this has changed the modus operandi. I mean, I presume that you have been people of your communities that were, everybody's affected obviously, but some are more or less. How does this change the type of operation, how you function as an organization, and how did it change the atmospherics? I mean, people on the street might have asked, oh my God, why are you talking about going to Mars when we have so imminent problems on the front line, basically. So these are colliding worlds in a way. So I presume there has been a change in the way how you perceive the organization, and has it pulled people together and you are even more coherent now, or does it feel like disintegrating to some extent? So how does it change?
Yeah, thank you for the question. As I mentioned, space exploration attracts the best talent, best engineering talent. So a lot of people that were a part of Mars Society are now, hopefully temporarily, focused on solving technical issues related to the warfare, mainly with Starlinks, because Starlink is such a great new thing and its capabilities are still unexplored. Also, GPS is being jammed and spoofed heavily, and you cannot rely on many GNSS systems in this situation. That's why a lot of these engineers are working on alternative things, how to navigate in GNSS denied environments. But everybody is united with this dream. When the war is over, we can go back to their technologies that can actually advance human civilization and let us settle Mars.
Okay, other questions? Maybe I have one. It's about the use of drones. I think because of the war, you developed incredible drones with strong capabilities, much better than the ones we have here, probably in Europe, in the other part of Europe. So yes, do you think it could be a return on investment, I could say, perhaps for the exploration of Mars, using drones with more capabilities?
Oh yeah, thank you, Jean-Marc, for bringing this up. Definitely, Ukraine is holding because of drones, and drones can be autonomous. These are autonomous robots. And it looks like, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, the future of warfare is autonomous, like robots fighting other robots. Imagine drones on the front line that get software update overnight, like Tesla is updating these cars these days. So one software update can change the situation on the front line, because we're no longer talking about people attacking other people. These are drones fighting other drones. Drones are used both for offense and defense. And these great advancements, of course, they will be useful during Mars exploration, because a great ton of work will need to be done with robots.
Okay, thank you. Other questions or remarks? Okay, thank you very much, Sergei. We are
Thank
very
you.
pleased to. Yeah.